Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, we in
Back
here.
at it after
In here.
a good weekend, draft weekend.
Man,
Yes.
NFL never stops, man. I feel like it's always NFL season.
Always something. Been a week since we seen y'all since last Monday, but we back at it. My man Swampathay, one half of the Man to Man Pod. I'm a co-host, Darius Butler.
Yes, sir. We back in the building.
Yes, sir.
Nobody talking to you, Siri.
Man, we're gonna jump into it.
Oh, hold on. This new Khaled do rock though.
The new Khaled, it's on straight.
Got about 4 or 5. Back on that. Go ahead, bro. My bad.
So shoot, man, it's all good. It's all good. But now we're gonna jump into it, man. You know the draft. Any surprises? Any surprises?
Surprises. Let me think. No surprises, really. We knew the first 2 picks. Kind of going into the draft, I still was holding out thinking that Justin Fields was going to go 3rd. But Trey Lance had kind of been picking up steam behind the behind the curtains. I thought going into it, by the time the draft started, that's when the A-Rod story came out right before the draft. I'm sure Schefter was holding on to that for a couple of days. Dropped that right before the draft. Huh?
A-Rod, he's smart too.
Yeah.
He's smart.
So I thought, they were saying like Schlereth came out and said the deal between the Packers and the Broncos was pretty much done. So I thought the Broncos was going to jump up, maybe take a quarterback, but they went with Surtain. But no real surprises, man. They was talking about Mac Jones and Lance at 3. Lance went 3. Pitts went 4. They were saying Chase or Penny at 5. So no, I wouldn't say any real surprises.
What about Chicago taking Justin Fields though? So were you surprised at that pick?
Or? I was surprised that they were able to get him. Honestly, I thought he would be gone by probably that Panthers pick. But they were able to jump up to 11 and get him. And honestly, I think right now as it stands, at least that pick is a lot better for Chicago than it is for Justin Fields. Like I feel like out of the top 5 quarterbacks that we, talked about the whole time throughout the pre-draft process, he probably is in the worst position just because of Matt Nagy, the line, the weapons that the Bears have, and compare it to the other ones. But for the Bears, they've been looking for a dynamic playmaker at quarterback for a long time. I feel like, if the Bears are good, if the Bears are box office, that's good for the league. It's one of those teams that is good for the league if the Bears are doing good. So right now, I feel like it's in everybody's favor, Allen Robinson, except Justin Fields right now. But I think he was the second best quarterback in this draft. So I think he's going to put the team on his back. And it maybe had the best quarterback situation, in a couple of years, due to A-Rod. Probably I don't see him playing there. Going forward, how you feel about that Justin Fields pick?
I agree with you. I think it's great for the Bears. Obviously, Justin Fields, you could feel, multiple ways about that. But obviously, happy for the opportunity. But like you say, the line with the coaching situation, you do have Allen Robinson out there, so
he finally got a quarterback.
Yeah, but I think he'll go out there. He'll make the best of the situation. Again, it's not a situation where you right now expecting him to possibly start day one. You got Andy Dalton. Maybe you let Andy Dalton go out there for a couple games and whatever the case may be.
Hell no.
And you never know.
No.
You never know.
Man, we talked about on this show. When Dalton was first signed, and obviously they made a run at Russ, and I'm sure they was probably in the mix with Deshaun. I think that he was on. I think they were on the list with Deshaun as well. But once they went with Andy and they tweeted out the QB1, I'm like, yo, I didn't think they could have possibly took a step back at the quarterback position from Maserati Mitch, and they did going to Andy Dalton. I think Andy Dalton has had a a good career. You know, if you look at the totality of his career, he had a good career. But at this point, that's not the guy you want, leading troops out of that tunnel. You went jumped up to 11, gave up next year's first round pick to get Justin Fields, a quarterback you had no business even having the opportunity to get coming into the draft with the 20th pick. I need to see him first snap of the season, first snap of preseason. Stop.
We're going to see. We're going to see. Like that. Nah, I mean, ain't nobody playing with him, but, if my guy ain't ready, he not ready. Like, I understand. Like, we taking these number one picks, and, if you got a vet in front of him, I agree with what you're saying. That's you.
This for their job too. This for the GM and the head coach's job too. They on the hot seat, both of them.
Exactly. So who's to say Justin Fields gonna come in and be automatically ready? If Andy Dalton is playing better, or if in their eyes playing better and they feel as though he's better at that moment in time, like if you talking about you playing for my job, I'm just gonna throw him out there just because he's my first round pick.
Throw his ass in that fire.
So why would you just say I'm doing this for my job if he's ready or not? I'm just throwing him out there anyway.
I'm not trying to Andy Dalton out there for my job. That's not what I'm doing.
Well, I mean, that's the situation you in.
The situation I'm in is we jumped up here and got Justin Fields, who I believe a lot of people, it's come out that a lot of people had Justin Fields. We
don't care about
as the first quarterback in the draft. I had him at 2.
We don't. Well, you were wrong, and everybody else was wrong.
Out there, Zach Wilson gonna be out there day one, right?
So who's the other quarterback on the Jets roster?
It don't matter.
I'm just asking you a question.
I don't know. I honestly don't know who their backup quarterback is.
Exactly, because that's already signed, sealed, and delivered. And the Jets ain't come out and say, whoever the quarterback was, you quarterback one. I'm not saying I don't believe that. All I'm saying is, in the situation, I understand Justin Fields is the number 1 draft pick for Chicago Bears. I'm saying just which situations are situational.
So you feel like so you feel like and then the thing this is the other thing about Justin Fields. Like he's a great quarterback first and foremost, but he's also a great athlete. So, you got to put him out. He's been playing big-time football the last 2 years, like big-time Big Ten football, been in the college playoffs, played some of his best football there. Now, obviously coming to the NFL, that's a huge step for anybody from any program at any position, especially the quarterback position. But, we already messed it up with Trubisky. Now we done went and got Andy Dalton. Who we said was QB1 going into it. Obviously, most people, if you can get better at that position, you do. Now we feel like we got better at position. I feel like you get better with reps. Throw him in that fire, bro. You're going to get better with reps. You're going to get better going against your first-team defense as much as possible. And then once you get in the season, we gotta let the chips fall where they may. I can't go in there the first 4 games. I'm marching Andy Dalton out there. Like, nah, that's bring the whole morale down to the team.
You throw them in the fire. Y'all not doing. I'm not wishing any negative or whatever. I'm just talking about it is what it is. I mean, you throw them out there, and shit ain't looking good. You gone either way.
Fields?
Yeah.
What's not looking good? Guy, give me an example. Like he just completely stank it up. The game is too fast for him.
All right, you were high on Tua, right?
Yeah.
All right, so same situation. You had Fitzpatrick, you had a vet. The vet was out there. The team was playing well, right?
That's different.
Team was all right.
That's different. And he still got pulled for Tua, but that's different. So Fitzpatrick at this point in his career, I feel like he's a better quarterback than Andy Dalton.
So that's all I'm saying, D. But
and Tua was injured too. Tua was coming off the
no excuses, no explanations. You threw him out there, just like you said. They threw him in the fire. They threw him. You just said, "Look, throw my man in the fire." So that's what they did with Tua, and Tua was not ready. We knew Tua was a good quarterback. He's going to be a good quarterback, but at that time, Tua was not ready to be playing. I don't think he should have been. I don't think they should have put him in there over Fitzpatrick. I don't think they should have made that switch. So that's all I'm saying.
You were adamant about that.
I was adamant about that. And that's the way I felt. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that Justin Fields not going to be a good quarterback. I'm not saying that he's not better than Andy Dalton. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that when you look at situations, sometimes it just doesn't align at that moment in time, and that's why I go back to the. That's why I go to the Fitzpatrick where they was in. You got a vet. He's been in it. He's been in the fire, so he understands. You know what I mean? What's going to happen? He understands the highs and the lows in this league. Again, Justin Fields been playing some great football, Power 5, but we know it's different. So again, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Tua situation, they put Tua in there in the fire. He wasn't ready. Where if I felt though they would have kept Fitzpatrick in there, it would have been a little different. Again, Chicago.
I feel like maybe if Tua came into that's why I say it's different, because Tua came in with a lot of question marks about his health. Like, that was the main thing. Like, is this kid healthy? We took him 5 overall? We took him 5 overall, but he still may not be. And it was a major injury he was coming off of. It was a hip. So it made more sense to put Fitzpatrick out there. He's a veteran. This is what we got him for. And we know Tua. And we know Tua is the future. Justin Fields, Ryan Pace, Matt Nagy, they're on the hot seat right now. Like, it's my job as a coach. Matt Nagy's an offensive coach. It's my job to have this guy ready. Everybody in the world know he can play. Now it's my job. I got to get this dude ready. And then Ryan Pace, I traded my next year's first. I got to make sure the guy that we gave all that up for is ready coming into the season. Point blank, we had some of the best rookie quarterback play last year in league history. Without really a preseason, an offseason. So, I mean, shit, Nagy, you better tighten up.
We're going to see. We're going to see.
Tighten up, man.
I want the young boy to go in there and do well. But, again, you just said it. No offensive line, the coaching situation. So, you throw him in the fire. And
you got some weapons, though. And you got Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson could easily be a top 5 receiver. Top 6-7 receiver in this league with a good quarterback. So I'm interested to see, and I'm not gonna say that Justin Fields is gonna be a top 10 quarterback out the gate. That'd be too high expectations. I don't think any of these quarterbacks honestly will be a top 10 quarterback out the gate, but he'll still be a better quarterback than Allen Robinson has had up to this point in his career. But before we move on, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit, man. How was your experience? I know you went out to Cleveland, where the actual draft was. So how was your your draft weekend?
Man, it was a dope experience, man. Being able to be around, the gold jacket guys, the legends, the Hall of Famers, having those conversations, I think that was dope. And then just to be out there with the fans and the other guys calling out the picks, man, it was a good experience. I wish it was a year. Next year they'd be out in Vegas, the draft.
Oh,
but it was a good experience, man. Cleveland, it was cold, it was raining, but dope experience.
It was clean, man. The fit was clean.
No, appreciate it.
I ain't expect nothing less.
Yeah, but the crazy thing about it, I think we were talking about a little before we jumped on, going backstage, they like, look, stand here when the pick come in, we gonna put it on the card and you walk out, you do your thing. And the young lady was like, everybody that come back here, we praying and wishing that everybody get a John Smith or something.
Yeah, you get an easy name. That's the worst, biggest day in a kid's life. You get up there and mess his name up.
And 2 minutes later, I hear somebody say, "Oh shit." I'm like, "Oh, what's up?" The pick came in, and but no, it was a great experience, man. Great experience.
You remember his name? How to pronounce it?
Man, I'm not gonna do that.
Come on, man. So who? Obviously the Cleveland. How were their fan base, man? Were they out there deep? Were they loud? Because I know
strong.
Obviously, historically, they've had a good fan base, even though they've had a bad team for a long time. And now they're building. They're building a contender. Andrew Berry, he was my executive of the year choice last season. Getting them to the playoffs, building that team. I feel like he won last offseason with the free agency, with the draft picks he made. And then I feel like he done it again this offseason. What was like their feeling out there in Cleveland with that fan base?
Nah, man, that fan base, man, they're excited. They were strong out there. They were definitely strong, excited, and they have the right to be. Like you said, I think they're moving in the right direction with that organization. Like you said, Andrew Berry. So, I'm anxious to see what the Browns do this year. I'm anxious to see that.
They got, I mean, if you look at the team, and I can't even say on paper because we saw them perform last year, but they've gotten a lot better on paper as well, on top of the performance that we saw last year, you know, adding Clowney up there with Myles Garrett. I feel like I love that. I love both of their first picks, Greg Newsome the second in the secondary, and then the linebacker that they got that could have been a first rounder. And then you know, with Odell coming back, I'm gonna assume, you know, I haven't really heard anything about them moving on from Odell or anything like that. So if you throw a healthy 13 back in that fold,
that's scary.
Like, I mean, I don't see any reason why the Browns shouldn't be like a preseason, like coming out of that AFC. You know, they played the Chiefs well. Obviously, Pat Mahomes got banged up in that game. But if Baker Mayfield continues to evolve in that offense, which I would only think he will, that was his first year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got the line, you got the dogs behind you, you got the dogs out there catching the ball. You got Schwartz in the third round, one of the fastest players in this draft. I mean, the Browns made some moves, man. Who's your favorite in that division, that FC North?
The
Ravens got better as well. They got Bateman in the first round.
They got Bateman in the first round. Sheesh. I'm gonna go Browns right now. I'm gonna go Browns right now.
I'm right there with you.
I'm gonna go Browns right now. You know, like you said, Baltimore. You know, they got. You know, they've been looking for a receiver, so they got him a big body receiver. Well, not really a big body, but you know, he plays. He
played big.
He plays.
I feel like he could definitely be a one. You know, he can work himself into a legit one.
Pittsburgh, man. You know, Pittsburgh had they got a good pick, Najee. But I just think that what Cleveland is doing right now, what they're bringing into that building, man. And again, the culture. I think the culture is one of the things we talk about on this show a lot. I think the culture is moving in the right direction as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick Cleveland right now.
Yeah, man. They like I said, went got Clowney. Went signed safety John Johnson third from LA, who not only a big time player but a big time communicator. So you know, you got Denzel Ward, love his game. Greedy Williams should be coming back and been healthy this year. And then you went and got Greg Newsome the second in the first round this year, who was you know, a top 3, 4 corner on my board. So it got McKinley. We signed Higgins. They got Troy Hill too. Oh, I forgot they got Troy Hill from LA from the Rams as well, who's a big part of that top performing defense last year out there in LA. So Barry made some moves, man.
What you gonna do in that secondary? You got so many guys back there.
I mean, that's a good problem to have, though.
It's a great problem to have, but you got all that talent. I can't have all my talent on the sideline. D coordinator, we got to figure out how we can get these players on the field.
Who they lost to in the playoffs? Who put them out the playoffs? Yeah. Chiefs put them out the playoffs. So I feel like if you're on that AFC side, you got it. That team is built to beat or to compete with the Chiefs. On offense, you got two-headed monsters at running back who are going to keep Mahomes on the sideline as much as possible, run that clock. And then you got, hopefully you get the best out of Jadeveon Clowney, opposite of Myles Garrett, getting after the passer. And then you got a ton of guys in the secondary that can cover, that can do multiple things. You know, guys can move all over. So, I mean, they're built right now to not only compete, but to beat the Chiefs. But I'm excited about it, man. It's been a long time to Brown. Like I said, that organization, the team has been shitty. The fan base has been loyal. So I'm glad to see them turning things around, man.
Yeah, the Browns, man, they did pick up Jeremiah, man, from Notre Dame. Shout out to the young fella, man. He's from the crib. So he got him second round linebacker, man. So definitely looking out for him to do some big things.
That he was number 6 at Notre Dame, right?
Yep, linebacker. Yep.
Yeah. He like I said, he wouldn't have been if he would have went the first. If he would have went top 20, nobody would have batted an eye. So shout out to Andrew Berry and what he doing right there. Anybody else jump out to you that did a great job in the draft?
The Giants. I thought the Giants made some. I thought the Giants did some good things. I mean, even and this is obviously this is all on paper and just a draft, but even Jacksonville, what they were able to do. Obviously, with Trevor Lawrence, and then they go back and pick his teammate, Etienne, the running back. You know what I mean? I think that was good, solid first two picks. So, and then let's stay in the division, and talk about the Bengals. I think it was a lot of talk like who they should pick with that
a lot of talk at 5.
Or Chase, or you go with a offensive tackle. And we kind of spoke on it on the show before, with that last Monday. How do you feel about that? Even though they was able to go back and get an offensive tackle.
Yeah, they went back and got a guard.
Guard. Guard. Yep.
Jackson Carman. And
how you feel about that?
I'm not too familiar with it, but I mean, Penei, you have Penei right there. And your quarterback got his ass whooped all year last year when he was out there, tore his knee up, currently rehabbing his ACL, MCL right now. And you get a chance right now. I know we throw this term generational out there a lot. I hear it all the time, damn near every day. I feel like it's generational talent. But Penei Sewell, 20 years old, and was a absolute dog when he was out there. And seeing Jeff Schwartz posted he did like a little special with him, going over some film and talking about his background, his upbringing. I couldn't have passed on that guy at 5. And now you went with Chase, who I feel like is an unbelievable playmaker. You saw him dominate SEC competition his last year as a 19-year-old in the SEC. So I think he'll be phenomenal, but I feel like the gap between, the top wideouts and, other really good wideouts is a lot smaller than that top tackle, that guy who plug and play from day one and will be there 10, 15 years. And I feel like that's what Sewell will be. So I wouldn't have passed that up personally. Like you said, you got back in. I feel like they reached with their guard pick in the second round. I say you go. It's a deep receiver draft. You already got 2 receivers who went over 1,000 last year with Boyd and Higgins was on route. I mean, I go with that left tackle, man. I would have had to go with that left tackle. I couldn't have passed up on that. The Lions got him at 7. Yeah, if I had to pick one guy from this draft, and I say, all right, one guy's going to be a Hall of Famer from this draft. I just got to bet all my money on one. Penei Sewell will be that guy. What you thought about that pick, though?
Man, I agree with you, but I guess they saw something. For one, it was a lot of offensive tackles, a lot of linemen in this draft. So I figured, they might have thought, well, I thought they couldn't pass on Ja'Marr Chase right there at 5. Yeah. And again, like you said, amazing talent. And then obviously they go back to LSU with Joe Burrow, so they have that connection. So to be able to have 3 receivers lined up in that 11 personnel, man, that's scary as well. But again, you need your quarterback upright.
And
maybe they know something we don't know as far as they.
I mean, they've invested in the O-line. They got Jonah Williams and Riley Reef, and I guess they feel good with those guys at tackle. Yeah, I mean, so they're in the building. They've done their research. That's why they get paid the big bucks. From the outside looking in, I don't pass on that guy. With my franchise currently rehabbing his knee, I just wouldn't do it. And maybe it's my personal experience. I saw Luck get his ass whooped for, the beginning of his career to the point where he got behind the best O-line in the league and then walked away because he had been beat up so much. So I would invest in that front. I'm a firm believer in you build championship teams from the trenches out, but I mean, I guess they saw something to Chase, and then the Chase, I'm sure Burrow maybe had some input even. I heard it was some, Burrow was like, hey, y'all go get my man. Chase showed up to the draft with some red, orange, and white shoes on, so he probably knew where he was going.
I already knew what it was, yeah.
Then the Dolphins went right behind him and took Waddle at 6, which kind of surprised me. I thought maybe they would have went and got Sewell.
Yeah. How you feel about being a Dolphins fan? How you feel about Waddle?
Going there. I like him. Yeah, I mean, I like him, because it ain't like he just a one-trick pony or. I remember when we took Ted Ginn, I think we took him 9, and I was still in the league at the time. But as a Dolphin, we took him 9. It was kind of like, it's kind of high for. But I feel like Waddle was a complete package. If he played this year, Devontae would have been the number 2 on that team, honestly. And
Devontae said if he would have played the whole year, I wouldn't have won that Heisman.
Yeah, and Devontae a dog. He a dog in his own right. Definitely not taking anything away from him. But Waddle's that special. And getting him back with Tua, he got some history once again, just like with the Bengals pick. It's some connection there. So Tua needs that. They're behind him. That's their guy. That's going to be the starting quarterback. Get some weapons around him. Like I said, once again, I'll start from the trenches. I cut the pass up in Panay.
Yeah.
They went with Waddle, speed, dynamic. And I feel like a lot of these teams were like, they saw these receivers coming to the league and ball early. And they were like, man, we're going to have to jump up and get these guys. You saw one go 5. You saw one go 6. You saw the Eagles jump up in front of the Giants at 11.
Yeah,
and go up and get Devontae. That's like my favorite part of the draft. Is like the moves these teams make. You hear all the rumors. You hear all the rumors. Yep, you hear all the rumors about which team like who, and the Giants were actually going to take Devontae at that 11th pick, and the Dallas Cowboys traded within their division to let the Eagles jump up in front of the Giants. And go and get Devontae. So did you have any feelings about that?
Nah, like you said, it's what it's about. This is what it's about. And like you said, Giants was gonna get Devontae, but then I think they got a dog. They got a dog out of Florida, Tony. Can do a lot.
Yeah.
In the backfield, in the slot, outside at one. So with what the Giants already have, I think that offense, they got a young, good offense. So I like what the Giants did. So I know
you're a believer in Danny Dimes too.
I like Danny Dimes, and
what's the outlook on him right now? Going in this year, you got Saquon back. You went and paid Galladay that bag. You got Slayton.
Yeah, you got Slayton.
You got Shepard.
You got Shepard still there. You got Ingram. Tony, and you got Ingram. I like
Rudolph.
it. I like it.
You went got Tony in the first round. Yeah, Tony is the guy. You can line him up in the backfield. You can put him in slide, speed, sweep screens.
Danny Dimes.
A little shabby with the route running, but another playmaker.
Danny Dimes. You can get, Danny Dimes gonna get moving a little more this year. Hey, look.
Okay.
Hey, listen what I tell y'all right now.
You like it.
I like
it. Write this down. All right.
Write it down. Write it down. Monday, May 3rd. It's 11:34 a.m. AB said it. Danny Dimes.
11:34 Eastern Standard Time. This is the year for Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes, man.
I think Danny Dimes some shit.
I mean, we know how your evaluation of quarterbacks go.
I think Danny Dimes.
That shit ain't look. Your track record ain't looking too good right now.
You tripping? My quarterback. I'll tell y'all somebody. But this will be his year, man. If Danny Dimes can stay healthy, I think then his biggest problem is and I'm what's what is mama name? When Daniel Jones' biggest problem is taking.
He got to protect the ball. Yeah, he got to protect the ball. Yeah,
if he protects it. Yeah.
Yeah, he knows that. I know he knows that. I know that's one of the things, because as far as reading the defense, he can put the ball in tight areas.
He got it on. He can make all the throws. He can hurt you with his legs. But like you said, his thing is protecting that ball, and I know that's something that he's working on. You're not letting this former teammate shit blur your vision, are you?
Nah, man, I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it. So
I know you was probably picking that boy apart in practice. But
I keep it a bucket all the time. Yeah,
I mean, look, he take care of the ball. They gave him every. He got the weapons around. Especially if Saquon stays healthy, which I hope he does. The Giants picked up his 5th-year option as well.
They ain't do that dumb shit you was talking about.
They wouldn't listen. They wouldn't listen to me.
They definitely ain't listen to D Butt on that trash you was talking about.
And I wasn't I didn't know if Gallman was gone. His backup who played well last year.
He played really well.
But Saquon, man, look, I only want the best for the kid. Seems like an outstanding kid. Obviously his talent is undeniable, just about staying healthy. And I hope he does stay healthy. And if he does, that will help Daniel Jones tremendously. You went out, paid a bunch of money to a number one receiver, Golladay. And like I said, you went drafted one in the first round after trading back and picking up more picks. So Giants making some moves, man.
So my young boy, Darius Slayton, he was at the draft. Mm-hmm. He announced the pick for the Giants. So I was chopping it up with my young guy. They went and got John Ross as well.
Man, I'm not even about to talk about John Ross, man.
Yeah, so
John Ross ain't did shit since he ran that 4.22.
Yeah. But
so I gotta see my man get out there and produce.
They got a lot of speed, got a lot of weapons over there, man. So Danny Dimes, man. Danny Dimes. This is year, man.
They sure barbecue a mildew. No excuses. Take care of the ball. I mean, you come from a good, obviously Cutcliffe, that's Peyton's guy. Come from a good coaching pedigree. Take care of that ball, man. So that's your lot. It sounds like how you was talking, because Washington in that same division, they didn't go get a quarterback. They still patted their quarterback position. Jalen Hurts, they went out and got him a weapon with Devontae Smith. And then obviously Dak is back, and Dallas got their weapons. Dallas went heavy on defense, which we both thought they should have. I think their first 6 picks were defensive picks, starting with Michael Parsons out of Penn State. So who's your if you had to pick a winner right now? And that
I don't do that. I'm not jumping into this. Nah. I ain't doing this.
That's what you sounded like. Cause Tone heard the same thing I heard.
Nah. What I said, we talking about Danny Dimes, and I said Danny Dimes is gonna have a good year. He's gonna have a great year this year. Now, I'm not gonna be one of these guys that so and so for the Super Bowl, and we in May. But I think the Giants are going to have a great chance of winning the division. I'm not going to give you no locks, but I do think the Giants will have the defense last year played well. Defense played well last year. If they can piggyback on the season that they had, I like that. I like them on that side of the ball. And if Danny Dimes, that offense, man, get it clicking, you got something special over there. So I like what the Giants are doing.
But you're not picking them to win the division. You're not picking anybody to win the division.
I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna be one of them guys. I hate when people be.
Man.
It's May. Oh, they are locked.
Early May too.
Man, yeah.
But right now, the Giants they've done some things this offseason, kind of along the lines of the Browns. But Gettleman, who was known for never trading back, he traded back a couple times in this draft. But they locked up Leonard Williams.
Mm-hmm.
They went out and signed the corner from Dory Jackson from Tennessee. I thought they overpaid him, but I love when guys get overpaid, so I love it. Signed him. I think he got 13 a year, so I love that. Bradbury had an outstanding year last year. That was their free agent signing last year. When got Logan Ryans. Who else in that secondary? Peppers.
You got Peppers, and then you got the young boy that got injured last year, safety. From
Alabama.
From Bama. Yep, McKinney. Yep. So I like what they're doing.
The second round pick, they got old boy out of I don't want to mess his name up, but out of Georgia. So they got an edge out of Georgia.
Yep.
So about Tony at the first. So they making some moves.
I like it.
Fourth round pick was another edge. So they're making some moves out there in New York, man. I like it, man. I like it. But since AB won't pick an NFC East winner, I ain't gonna pick one either. But I would say the Giants are winning the offseason right now, though.
Yeah, man, they look good. Let's give it some time, man.
Giants I know offseason.
I know we in the media world now, D-Bub, but you can't let them.
Yeah, we gotta start. That's what we gotta do, bro.
No, we don't. we stay in our lane, baby. Like we stay in our lane.
The Browns are winning the Super Bowl. We gotta come out with yeah, man.
Chelsea, man, what's good, Chelsea? How you doing? You know, we know you're a big Minnesota fan. Vikings got an A for their draft grade. Do you agree? You gave them a B+.
Vikings jumped up there and got a good tackle. Let me see what the Vikings did. Then they went and got Kellen Mond. Mm-hmm. Well, I like Kellen Mond, especially sitting behind. So they went and got Darrisaw offensive tackle with the first pick, 23rd pick. Virginia Tech. He could have been a top 15 tackle. Kellen Mond, second round pick. Went linebacker in the third round, guard in the third round, edge in the third round. Trenches, I like that.
Trenches.
I mean, they went and got they got Pat P in the offseason. Made some moves. They got better. I mean, I don't know. I don't know those guys enough.
Yeah, I don't either. So I can't even. They said an A for their draft grade.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you, Chelsea.
We gonna see though. But in that division, the Bears damn sure got better. The Packers may possibly be getting a hell of a lot worse.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about A-Rod. So the story came out. The story came out right before the draft. Aaron Rodgers, tells the brass basically not interested in coming back. And then it went a little further and they said he's talking to some teammates. Mark Schlereth came out, he still does radio in the Denver area and basically said, hey, this deal from Packers to Denver is pretty much as close as being done as possible. Obviously that didn't go through, but it's looking pretty real right now. How you feel about this whole A-Rod situation, man? I got my thoughts.
For one, I thought it was a smart move by him, his team, or whatever, to break this news the time that they did. So it could have been you seen the Niners and different teams calling Green Bay like, "Yo, is this real?" So I thought that was smart. We got a lot of quarterbacks in the draft. Even though they drafted a quarterback last year, I just thought it was a smart move.
Mm-hmm.
My fault.
Are you good?
I thought it was a smart move. Now, we have. I think we're kind of moving into a climate in the NFL world.
Hold on, I'm getting static. Hold on, I'm getting static from you. I don't know if it's you or me. Hold on. Can y'all hear that static or that's me? Boo, boo, boo.
You still hear it?
Are you good now?
Well, so what I was saying, I just feel as though quarterbacks kind of have that leverage, and right now, A-Rod, man, he might have it. He's talking about potentially not coming back, retiring. That'd be a bad look for the Packers organization, a horrible look for the Packers organization.
Horrible, man.
But if you Packers organization, what you do? You stand firm, like, well, all right, if you're not coming back play for us, you're not playing anywhere, or do you like, okay, well, this is kind of our fault. It's kind of our fault. We're in this situation with our franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you do?
A lot of people, so you feel like A-Rod has the leverage here.
I think so.
Shit, yeah, I feel the same way.
I mean, he got his money. He's played well. If he stops playing ball right now, he's going into the Hall of Fame. He might got a job already waiting on him. Host of Jeopardy. So shoot, like if you at peace with it, if he's at peace with that decision, sure, I'll walk away.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more of a possibility. When I first heard the news, when I first saw he said what he said, that was my first reaction. I was doing the on the first night, Thursday night, I was doing the draft. I was covering the draft with PFL, and the news came out right. So we had a whole little thing we had rehearsed to talk about before the draft. Woody Woo. Then the Aaron Rodgers news come out. So that was all we were talking about leading up to the draft. And my first thing was like, man, I wouldn't be shocked if he walked away, man. He just got engaged.
Yeah.
to young ladies. You know, she works in Hollywood. She does a lot of things in Hollywood. Also has a house in Colorado. I said, yo, A-Rod could walk away from this and go do this Jeopardy thing he's been doing,
and be good,
and be great. So I feel like he really holds the cards here. If he said, I feel like at this point, I haven't heard A-Rod. I didn't even hear Russ really come out and say, I don't want to play her. You heard Deshaun say it. You heard A-Rod say it. And I feel like you said, these quarterbacks had that type of power. They had that type of leverage. Slowly kind of becoming a little more like the NBA when it comes out to players, you know, speaking out where they don't want to play, where they do want to play. And I think ultimately, if he does play football next year, it's not going to be with the Packers. And they done tricked it off almost every step along the way, whether it's the drafting, whether it's, you know, drafting Love in the first round, all these different things. And if you're the Packers, and if you feel like Love is potentially your guy, then you get as much as you can possibly get for Aaron Rodgers right now. You move on after, I think, June 1st is when it makes more sense money-wise. So if we do see a move, I think that's when we're going to see it. But, yeah, that's what you do. And you know, been to back-to-back NFC championship games. You didn't get over the hump with A-Rod. So you move on. You get, you know, let's say at least 3 first-rounders for him.
I was going to ask you that. What you think it'll take?
I mean, I would say at least 3 first-rounders in the starter. Yeah, in the starter. Because you're going to get whoever getting them probably going to get, you know, a good 2-3 more years out of them. And those picks aren't going to be like high picks. They're going to be probably late 20 picks. So
yeah,
3 of those in the starter. And if he does go to the Broncos, like where do you see let's say he does land with the Broncos. You see Broncos being like a 12-13 win team in the same division with Pat. Same division out there with the Chargers, with Herbert and Cole.
That'd be a great division. But you know, I think A-Rod, he elevates your team that much.
Yeah.
I think he does that. So I definitely think Denver, you know, would be a team you have to be on the lookout for if that move does happen.
Yeah, man, that'll be crazy, man. But like I said, I would not be shocked if he walked away and just went and hosted Jeopardy.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked at all.
And then from there, man, the GM got to go.
That was the other thing. That was the other thing that came out. He basically said if he does come back,
GM got to go.
He got to go.
So either way, GM in a tough spot right now because if he doesn't come back, everybody gonna be pulled at your head. And then if A-Rod does come back, guess where he gonna be?
Out of there.
Yeah, not even a plane ticket.
Out of there. Greyhound.
Chelsea
ready for him to leave the NFC. No, I'm sure a lot of people are.
A lot of people.
Yeah, man. But shoot, man, y'all drop some questions, comments these last 10 minutes.
Man, we haven't talked about our coach.
Oh shoot, well, let me give you one minute. I'll be right back. Get that Kwity Paye pick. And in the second round, you ain't gonna remember his name, man.
Go ahead and take your break, bro.
All right.
Y'all drop some questions in here. Who replaces Rodgers if he does leave? I'm sure they drafted Love last year, so it got to be, in my mind. You drafted a quarterback last year when you needed help on the outside. So if Rodgers does leave, you got your man already in the building. J Love. Tone, I'm about to get it for you right now, my guy. I'm gonna put it up in the go to if you on IG.
Yeah, when them books shipping out. Pre-order my junk.
It's coming. So, hey, I just put it in the I just put it in the right there, Tom. What do you think of Micah Parsons to the Cowboys? I like it. I like the pick. I like it, man. He's versatile, sideline to sideline. I think to help him out though, I think they need to work up front as well, so he can do his thing. But being able to do a lot of multiple things at that position, he's fast. Again, like I said, sideline to sideline. Point of attack, he's strong there. So I like the pick. I like the pick.
I like that pick a lot. And I said coming into it, everybody put and I think they wanted to go Surtain as well. They wanted to get a corner. But Surtain was gone. He went 9 to the Broncos. And then they traded back to 12 with the Eagles and got Parsons, who a lot of people thought would be the first defensive player off the board. Opted out, but he was dynamic. Then he tested off the charts. Mm-hmm. Freakish athlete. So they went and got another backer too. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with I think Van Der Esch or Vanden Bosch. What's his name? Van Der Esch or Vanden Bosch?
Vander. They was just talking about that too.
I don't think they're gonna pick up his 50-year option. They went and got Jabril Cox as well in the 4th round, another linebacker at LSU. So 2 off the ball linebackers gonna be interesting to see. They already got Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch, Vander something, 55 with the cowboy collar. But he's had issues staying healthy. So Cowboys, man, they went defense. Micah Parsons, Kelvin Joseph out of Kentucky at the corner position. So there'll be 2 young corners out there, most likely. D tackle out of UCLA, Osa. Chauncey Golston, 3rd round out of the Hawkeyes. Another corner, linebacker. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Heavy on the defense.
Yeah. Deo. So they do leave a how to pronounce note next to the name. They do. But you know what, Dio, that's what we call
him. Dio. Who have you played for Vic Fangio at all?
Yes, I played my first year in San Fran.
Okay, so you're familiar with the system. So they added Kyle Fuller.
Yep.
They just drafted Surtain in the 1st round.
And they got
re-signed Kareem Jackson, re-signed Justin Simmons. Von Miller should be coming back. Bradley Chubb should be coming back up front. So how you feel about that defense? How you feel about Surtain fitting in that defense?
I love it, man. You just got to think about when you think of the system. So with Vic Fangio, when I was in San Fran, our front was it was probably the best front I've ever played with. You know, mm-hmm. Alden Smith, Ahmad Brooks, Justin Smith, Ray McDonald. Yeah. So with that, we didn't have to send pressure a lot. You know, we didn't have to send pressure. And with Chubb, with Von Miller, you know, having those guys coming off the edge, you're not gonna have to do too much. And then on the back end, solidifying that, where you say you got Justin Simmons, you got Kareem Jackson, smart guys on the outside. Mm-hmm. You went and get Fuller, who was actually played in that same system with Vic Fangio when they was with the Bears, and then you go get a young Surtain. I think they're setting themselves up to have a real good defense, man. I like the moves. Not sure how they'll play Surtain, if it'll be, you know, he'll probably stay on the outside or start on the outside opposite of Fuller. But I love what they're doing. I love it.
Yeah, man. They went and got Surtain in ninth pick. It kind of surprised me, but That defense, man. If he comes in and he plays what he's built to play, how he's been built out to play coming into this draft, and he looked like the most polished corner coming in this draft, just well-rounded, well-coached, you could tell. If he come in, they got Bryce Callahan too, who plays the nickel spot well. If he can stay healthy, they made. I like what they did. I like what they did with that defense, especially now the quarterback position. They traded for Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah,
brought him in, and right now that they're saying Locke and Bridgewater split the snaps 50-50, which in my mind, if it's a real competition, I think Bridgewater gonna end up being the starter. You got young weapons out there at the receiver position, so definitely gonna be interesting to see what Denver does this year. Got Javonte Williams in the second round out of UNC. I like it.
Nah, I think it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be a good showing. Most surprising undrafted free agent. I don't know about the most surprising undrafted free agent, but I am surprised that nobody from the HBCU got drafted this year.
I saw that. Not one.
I was surprised by that. Not saying that you have to, but it's a lot of talent out there in the HBCU ranks for them. Not one. And
this was the first year that the HBCU combine too, right?
Yeah, and even with the COVID, I think it kind of shook it up a little bit. But even with that, though, having a lot of scouts being able to get their eyes on those guys to get them an opportunity. But that was surprising.
I think that definitely played into it. The COVID and what it did to some of the programs.
Yeah.
Because I was on set with Chris Collinsworth in the during the first round, and he was saying going into the draft, like even for like the Power 5 schools, he was like, this year you're going to see a lot of like SEC bias, or because the SEC played that all SEC schedule.
Yeah.
So it was all those teams versus each other. So scouts or evaluators or whoever felt, I guess, more comfortable, picking those guys because they saw them. So, like, even for the Power 5 conferences, you saw it hurt those players. So I feel like obviously it's kind of a trickle-down effect.
It definitely is.
When it comes to the comfort level that you're going to have. But, like you said, definitely talent on that level. Definitely guys who are, I think, still going to make teams. But for none to be drafted out of the HBCU level, that was definitely surprising as well. I saw that on Dion's page.
Yeah,
kind of brought, that was definitely surprising. But I think this was also the year that most. I think it was 65 players from the SEC were drafted, which was the most in the common draft era. So you definitely saw that bias on display, even more than that's a typical bias. SEC players usually gonna lead, but I can see that being a part of the reason, but definitely not an excuse, not a good enough reason for that to happen.
I got one for you, D-Bud. Late to the party.
Real late to the party. I don't know who that.
Who was the starting quarterback for the Texans with Deshaun Watson? Things going on.
Yeah, I don't think Deshaun's gonna play another snap for the Texans. Honestly, I think Ty Taylor is going week 1. He's gonna be the starter for that organization.
T2.
I think once he gets out there, Man Pod alum, make sure y'all check out that interview. It was a super dope interview we had with Ty. But I think once he marches out there week 1, I don't think he loses that job. So I think it'll be him. I think Deshaun's gonna be traded at some point. I think the issues are going to if it was my prediction, I think it'll be some type of settlement or something that's going to take place. He'll probably be suspended for some games or maybe on the exempt list and probably play 4 or 8 games into the season next year. That's my prediction. We're going to see what actually happens. But starting the season for the Texans, I think Tyrod Taylor is going to be QB1. I know they went and got Mills, and I think the third round?
Third round,
yeah. Quarterback out of out of Stanford, and that was their first pick in the draft. And that kind of took some people by surprise. Didn't really take me by surprise. You want to have a good backup situation at quarterback as well. So I think that was a good job by them. But I think Todd Taylor starts for them week 1.
Agreed. I agree with you. Before you took your break, man, I was talking about the Colts pick. You know, first round, second round, they went with rushers. You know what I mean? You get after that quarterback, edge rushers. How did you feel about that? I know a lot of fans, including both of us, you know, we was talking about left tackle. Chris Ballard came out and was like, yeah, that's still a need for us. But at the time when we were drafting, I guess they didn't have anybody on their board that they were excited about. So they went the route that they went.
Yeah, it looked like they took they stole Robert Mathis' draft board. I saw before the draft, Robert, even he had put left tackle first and then put pass rusher. And like you said, I actually text Chris right after they drafted Kwity Paye out of Michigan. And he was, I don't know if you heard his story or read up on his story at all, but crazy story, man. I'm usually not one for the, you know, the crazy stories on draft day, especially, but his is definitely worth looking into reading. You know, mother, you know, fled Liberia. The Civil War broke out, just some crazy things that he had to overcome. And so to hear him get drafted and say, you know, tell his mom, like, hey, you know,
you retired.
You know what I mean? You ain't gonna have to lift a finger no more. So that, you know, that's what you watch the draft for. But as far as the football, I think he's a raw pass rusher, ability off the charts. Jim Irsay put him on the phone with Freeney. As soon as he got drafted, I'm like, hey, this dude need to get with Robert Mathis ASAP. I know he works with pass rushers out there in Indy, which is a great resource and tool for the coach to have. And I think if he learns the tricks of the trade, he gets coached up, and he seems like a kid that's going to take coaching and soak it in. He can fall in line with one of those great. Obviously, I'm not going to compare him to a Robert Mathis or a Dwight Freeney. Way too early for that. But you know, his skill set, his freakish athletic ability coming off that edge, I can definitely see him turning into something special out there. And Chris Ballard, first thing he said to him was he's a Colt through and through. Like everything about him fits their culture. So I definitely trust Chris Ballard and his draft board at this point. Took me by surprise they didn't get a tackle in what we thought was a deep tackle draft.
Yeah.
But you know, pass rushing was a need as well, though. How you felt about it? You already spoke.
Basically, I mean, same thing. You know, we just thought obviously a left tackle was a need, but you know, he didn't feel as though the position that he was picking, the tackle that they were in love with to make that pick. So again, rushers were needed, and like you said, I think being able to tap in to guys like, you know, Freeney and Mathis, and obviously, you know, he's a learner. You know, he's willing to be taught and get some knowledge from some greats. So just say one or two tricks of the trade from them legends, man, and that could help you out tremendously. So definitely, man, to have you on you with the fam.
Big facts. Another winner from the draft. I think the Chargers had a hell of a draft. You know, the Chargers. I think the Jets did some good things in the draft. The Chargers went out and got, you know, left tackle. They already made a huge investments across that front line for Herbert, and completed that pretty much with getting the left tackle Slater out of Northwestern. And then in the second round, went and got Asante Samuel Jr., who could have went at the end of that first
round.
Yeah, he, you know, you watch him on tape, very instinctive, can play in your face, can play press, can play off, can bail, and get out of that.
Can move him inside.
Yep, I think because of his body type and his movement skills, can play on the inside. Smart player, obviously his pops played the game for a long time, was one of the smartest players to ever play the game at that position. So I think they got those first two picks. I think they knocked it out of the park. And having that young quarterback, Justin Herbert, protecting him with those weapons that they have there. Then you got Staley coming over, who did some amazing things with that Rams defense last year. Hopefully, Derwin James come back and stay healthy.
Come back healthy. Yep.
Basically replacing replacing Casey Hayward with Asante Samuel Jr.'s.
Yeah.
That was I really, really, really love that move. Those moves by the Chargers, man. That's gonna be a fun division to watch.
It for sure.
The Texans are not an honorable organization.
It's rough out there, man, with the Texans, man. It's rough.
Yeah, it is, man. It is. We're gonna see if Nick Caserio can turn it around. His first year as a GM, that's gonna be his job to kind of talk about the word culture a lot. Culture. So he's gonna
very important.
Put a new culture in place because a lot of former Texans, a lot of people that are in that building, don't speak highly of it. So definitely some things gotta change around ASAP.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we about to get up out of it. Probably got time for one more if y'all got something good. A lot of winners, I feel like, in this, so far, but we're gonna see once September starts. How it's really shaking out.
Yeah. For sure, man.
What you thought about J.C. Horn? Been the first defender off the boards to Carolina.
I
didn't think last year.
Defense
first pick this year.
I didn't think it was a bad pick. I think at the corner position, we talked about it could have been 2 or 3 different guys, but with J.C. Horn and what he shows on film, up in your face type corner, physical, and the type of defense that Carolina, but they're doing over there. I thought it was a good fit for him. A good fit.
Okay, yeah, I think so too. Good fit. A lot of people were saying either him or Pat Surtain was going to be the first corner off the board. They jumped up and took Horn at 8. I thought it was a good pick as well. It went seven picks in a row last year on the defensive side. We had Chin on the pod earlier. Well, was that this year? Maybe last year. And then, went with another, invest in that secondary again. So impressive, man. Impressive.
Would you be a GM?
Craig, would you guys ever be a GM? I'll be a GM. I'll be a GM I'll be a GM before a head coach.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll be a GM before any type of coach. I just don't see me coaching right now. But
yeah,
GM, I definitely would do that.
Yeah, for sure. I think and that kind of brings to a point that we didn't speak on. Seeing those war rooms, seeing those war rooms, like, and obviously been in the game, been in the NFL for 9 years. AB been in there for 14 years. We already know that to be a reality of the lack of diversity in these shot calling positions, in these decision-making rooms. And then when you see it on the draft, I saw it last year, and just seeing the different war rooms again, like, it's frustrating of the lack of diversity in those rooms. And you wonder why you get kind of the same storylines year in and year out when it comes to the draft class. And I honestly think that's a reason why we have as many misses that we do have in the draft process, honestly, because you don't have enough different viewpoints, different opinions, different voices in those rooms. So that's why I would be a GM more so than even want to do the job.
It was funny you said that. Friday night after the draft, went to a little restaurant and was sitting and having a couple drinks with some people, and actually had that same discussion, just looking at the war room and just looking how, again, like you said, no diversity in those rooms. And when it comes to these picks and you kind of talking about different backgrounds, like, you don't really get an in-depth look or really understand like what a lot of these players are coming from. You know what I mean? Yeah. And again, like you just said, like, if you had a more diverse room, man, you could really pinpoint certain things. You know what I mean?
Sure, man. And have different things in place. And I think more importantly, more importantly than even missing on draft picks and things like that, I think even when it comes to having certain things in place to help players, once you get into that NFL, once you become a professional player, the type of challenges that different players from different backgrounds deal with. Because it's one thing to talk to people and try to educate yourself on it and do these different, which a lot of these people don't do, honestly. And it's a completely different thing of actually knowing these things, seeing it from being in locker rooms, seeing it from being in those communities, and knowing, okay, these are the things that we need in place, at least in my building for my players, to make sure that we're doing the right things and setting these guys up for future off the field. But
hey, and listen to this though. Like, just sit back, and I'm with the teams that you've been on. Your player engagement guy, was he white or black?
New England was white. Carolina, honestly, I don't even remember Carolina, but Indy black.
So another conversation was that that player engagement
guys are black though.
Yeah, why?
Mm-hmm. A lot of them are See, the player engagement guys are supposed to be the guys who help the players, along their journey, right? And it's kind of like a bridge between front office, the coach, and the locker room. And honestly, that person is in place, in my eyes, to kind of be the guy that can play both sides. You know what I mean? When there's something that needs to be brought in the locker room, hey guys, woo. When it's something that the front office need to know about the locker room, and maybe some guys in the locker room, hey guys, woo. So
hey, look, another conversation that I was having was that the player engagement. And again, we're going to get I told the DT. DT was like, he won't come on the show. Again, this is going to be one of these things that a lot of people on the outside don't understand the different roles that makes a team go, right? A player engagement person is very important because they help players with things off the field. You know what I mean? Like, everything. It might be so simple as, hey, you need to go to this person at the DMV to get your license. You know what I mean? We shoot you straight there. Or if your wife needs something outside here, daycare, doctor, whatever the case may be, this is the person that you typically go to. Or even if we having problems, you can go to your player engagement. Like D-Bus said, this player could most of the time, 80% of the time, a former player. They understand, your day-to-day.
David Tyree was the player engagement guy for the Giants some time.
So he was there, yeah. DT. I got a young boy now that I'll be rapping with. He's with the Panthers, Jaquan Jarrett. He used to play. Used to play in the league as well. But now it's a situation where they're in a tough spot, right? Because like you said, obviously upstairs is gonna be like, hey, try to persuade the guys to whatever, not persuade them, but take this to the guys. But then the guys in the locker room is like, yo, we know you be talking up. I know you be dealing with the people upstairs, so I'm only gonna tell you, but so much. So player engagement has a fine line, but until you gain the trust of the locker room, that's one of the most important, I think, low key, one of the key positions in a building.
For sure. I mean, that's. I mean, I can't even. It's very, very, very crucial to the day-to-day operations of that building. So that's a big point. That's definitely something that needs to be talked about. I don't think I ever heard talked about, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's big. But even still, and that's even more reason I feel like you should have more people like that in the front office. And I think it's a reason why that's not the case. But that's a good point.
Yeah, it's funny because I was just thinking about that.
You got to get DT on here, man.
Oh no, for sure, ASAP.
Mm-hmm. And you played, and DT was your teammate.
Nah, so when I got there, DT had just left.
Yeah,
okay. He had retired.
Went to Tennessee.
He went to Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah. But then I was able to catch him when he came back as player engagement my last couple of years at Indy. So you was there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Definitely important. But yeah, to answer that question, I think we both answered. We will both be GMs. And yeah. But yeah, we're gonna have some good conversations upcoming, man.
For sure,
Got
for
my
sure.
head spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, go to E. Erica. She used to work with me, and she worked with DT a lot. But yeah, man, what time is it? Oh yeah, y'all already know what to do, man. Go holler at Pat, man. Go wish him a happy belated birthday. It was his birthday yesterday. I was on the show on Friday, probably on it this upcoming Friday as well. But appreciate y'all, man, rocking with us. It's been a week since we saw y'all. Y'all
Yes,
back, so
sir.
appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate that question too, Craig.
Yeah, right. Y'all be good, man.
You out of here.